صبح کموں پر جانے رہنا انہاں باڑیاں نبزوں پر ہاتھ رکھے
ماشاءاللہ بے شک
آج میں کتاب الامامت میں ایک جگہ کو جزیات دریافت کر رہا تھا تو اس میں آیا کہ ایک صحابی کی مطلب شکایت ہوئی کہ یہ قرات بڑی لمبی پڑھتے ہیں تو میں بوڑھا آدمی مجھے پیشاب آتا ہے ایک نے کہا میں مزدور آدمی مجھے کام کے لیے جانا تھا سرکار سخت ناراض ہوئے انہوں نے کہا میں لوگوں کو اکٹھا کرتا ہوں تو لوگوں کو بکھیرتا ہے یعنی جس حد تک گنجائش ہو نا دوستوں کے ساتھ تعاون کرنے کی شرعی طور پر وہاں تعاون کرنا چاہیے اس وجہ سے میں گستاخی کی معافی چاہتا ہوں لیکن آپ لوگوں سے جو استفادہ ہوتا ہے دوسرے لوگوں سے ہو نہیں سکتا اس لیے آپ کو بار بار درخواست کرتا ہوں کہ آپ ضرور تشریف لایا کریں مثلا آپ کی معلومات ہے نا جو بات سن لی ہے نا پتہ ہے کہ بات پکی ہے اگر ضرورت پڑی تو یہ بات پیش کریں گے کتاب کا نام لیں گے حوالہ پیش کریں گے کچی بات کوئی نہیں ہوگی لیکن یہ گلشرہ مارنے والے جو ہیں نا کنے جنگلی دہی کی دی اکھی نٹی کی دیاں گاٹا پر در گئی نہ سہ ملوک مکہ ہے نہ جان میں معذرت چاہتا ہوں اب آپ حضرات کی خدمت عالی میں کوئی 7-8 منٹ 10 منٹ اس پر گفتگو کر دیتا ہوں
سبحان اللہ
یہ تو سنی چاہتی سنا تو زیادہ بھی میں کری سکوں کوئی دقت لیکن سنگی جڑے جنہا ایک کپڑ ٹکی کرنی نہ صبح یہ اکثر میں دیر کری سکتی الحمدللہ وکفا وسلام علی عبادہ الذین اصطفا خصوصا علی محمد المصطفیٰ وعلی آلہ واصحابہ وللصدق والصفاء ما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Their eminences, the distinguished Muslim scholars, the other ladies and gentlemen, I want to give my lecture on the topic of leading a prayer by a woman, whether it is lawful or unlawful. So, the verse of the Holy Quran I referred to was mentioned in Surah Ma'idah. Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum. Today I completed your religion. وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي, and I accomplished my bounties upon you. وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا, and I appreciated and I liked and I have chosen the religion of Islam as your religion. This is the verbal translation of the verse I recited in front of you. When Allah Rabbul Izzat says that today I have completed your religion, being a Muslim, it would be one's duty to believe that Islam has already been completed by the Holy Prophet himself, and it is not waiting for any Maulana to complete it. If one is a Muslim, he will have to abide by the rules and regulations prescribed by Kitabullah and Sunnat Rasulullah, and he will have to suffice on that one. If he is not an apostate, murtad, after apostatization one can say what he likes, but as long as he is a Muslim, he will have to believe the Holy Quran and the prophetic tradition to be sufficient for the completion of Islam, for completion of religion. So this claim that the woman was deprived of the rights and now the women are waking and they are trying to receive the full rights of their life, this is a wrong claim, because this is a misinterpretation of the Holy Quran and the prophetic traditions. You must be aware of the fact that there was no system of legacy or inheritance by the woman from from any relative. The woman was not entitled to inherit the property from the father, from the husband, from the son, from any relative, because she has no proprietary right. The ownership was totally prohibited for the woman. There were two empires, Persian Empire and Roman Empire, and neither of them was believing in the proprietary right, in the ownership of the woman. Do you understand what I say? I think my language is clear enough for you to understand. Both of the great powers ruling all over the world were ignoring and refusing the entitlement of a woman for any property. She was not entitled. Even a house could not be assigned in the name of a woman, assignment transferred. The property is assigned. The woman was not entitled to inherit any property or to own any property. Even the house for residence was not lawful to be transferred in the name of a woman. When this decision was achieved in the shadow of the palm trees of Medina Tayyibah, that the woman would inherit the property from the husband as well, from the father as well, sometimes from the son as well, sometimes from the brother as well. So both of the communities, the Roman Empire, the Persian Empire, they began to nod in the negative sense. They said it is not possible. We are the ruling power all over the world, and this person is just a tribal chief, and he is sitting in the shadow of the trees. He has got no house to reside in. He has got no property to enjoy of, and he has got no money to be applied for any purpose. So he is out of pocket. He is without any property. He has got nothing to do with the world. So this decision requires a universal and international power to implement the decision. But the Holy Prophet said, the time will come when my decision would be implemented by whole of the world, and no one would be able to ignore and to neglect my decision. My decision is a divine decision, and it is a divine order, and divinity cannot be challenged, because divinity is a power, ruling power on the total emperors, because all of the empires are under the rule of the super government of my Lord. So this decision was made for the first time in Medina Tayyibah, when the woman was deprived of the rights of property and ownership. And for the first time, Nabi Kareem ﷺ declared the woman to be entitled to inherit the property, to own the property. This decision was by the Holy Prophet, and the women are obliged to pay the thanks to the person who for the first time decided that the woman would inherit and would own the properties. So this is a great deed of Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ, when no one was in the world to believe that the woman can be owner of any property. In this country where you are sitting now, for the first time the ownership was granted to the woman in 1860. It is on record here in this country. The woman was not entitled to inherit the property, and she has got no proprietary right, no ownership. So the women of this country should pay the thanks to Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ, who entitled them to inherit the property. So Nabi Kareem ﷺ was the first person in the world to entitle the women to get something. So this is a great ingratitude by the women, that they are not confessing, and they are not acknowledging, and they are not recognizing the beneficence of Muhammad Mustafa ﷺ. He was very beneficent, and he was very kind to the women. He was the first person to equalize the rights of women with the men. This was the first decision, and it was achieved near about 1400 years ago in Medina Tayyibah. And you must know that The slavery was tried to be finished by Muhammad Mustafa. Sometimes in intentional murder, the Muslims was obliged as a murderer to pay the blood money or to emancipate a slave. Emancipation of slaves means to free, to give the freedom means emancipation. The proper word is emancipation. The emancipation of a slave was duty of a murderer who committed the crime of murdering unintentionally. Sometimes in case of divorce, sometimes as a kindliness, as a good quality of human being, he was asked to emancipate the slave. Sometimes a person who used to violate the oath, under such circumstances, he was obliged, he was duty bound to emancipate the slaves. So slavery was finished by Muhammad Mustafa. When Nabi Kareem came in this world, the parents used to be sold in the market. The sisters, mothers, the daughters, the women used to be sold in the market. A few weeks ago, one of my students went in the college. There was a lady teacher. She said that the Muslims sell their daughters. He said, the Muslim never sell their daughters. If somebody is selling, he is not selling as a believer, as a mu'min, as a Muslim, but he is doing it as a person. She said, no, not at all. My disciple said, I can give you the record. Here in this country, in 1822, the women were being sold in the market and the ropes are around their neck, and I have got the pictures, I have got the photos, I have got the record. She said, it is quite impossible in this country. This type of president could not be referred to in this country. He said, I can provide you with the proper documents. He took my book and he went there and he showed all of the references. Then they apologized him because there was a rope around their necks and the women were being sold in the market of Bristol in 1822. So this is the answer to the question that Islam was responsible for the deprivation of the women of their rights. So this is totally wrong propaganda which has got no base, no origin and no references. Islam is totally against this propaganda because Islam has got its own history, its background. And as far as the leadership in the prayer is concerned, I can easily say that the leadership was not granted to the woman. Why? Many other distinctions were given to the woman, just like the first believer in Islam is a woman. Khadija al-Kubra, radiyallahu anha, she was the first person to embrace Islam. The first Muslim, Sayyida Khadija al-Kubra, the grandmother of total Sadat, the grandmother of Hazrat Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain, Imam Zainul Abidin, Imam Hassan Musanna. Up to now, she is our grandmother. She was the first Muslim. This is a distinction of a woman. In addition to that, the first martyr means shaheed. The first martyred was also a woman. She was mother of Ammar ibn Yasir radiyallahu ta'ala. She was firstly martyred by Abu Jahl with great torture and with great persecution. She was persecuted very badly, and so much cruelty were imposed to her, and she was martyred. The first martyr, the first shaheed in Islam is a woman. And there are certain other distinctions that no woman was found in the world to claim for the divinity. She never said that I am Khuda, I am Allah, I am God. On the other hand, there were many persons from men who claimed for the divinity. They said they are Allah, but this crime was not committed by the woman. This sin was not committed by the woman. And the prophethood was not granted to the woman. No prophet was found in the word, in the woman. This is a leadership. Because hunna naqisatul aqli wad deen. Nabi Kareem was reported to have said, their wisdom, their intelligence, and their religion is less than that of the men. At that time, Sayyida Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala, Salama radiyallahu ta'ala, and the other intelligent ladies who used to preach for Islam, they protested against the statement. Then Nabi Kareem said, you should know the background of my claim. Hunna naqisatul aql, when فَاسْتَشْهِدُوا شَهِيدَانِ بِالرِّجَالِكُمْ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُونَا رَجُلَيْنِ فَرَجُلٌ وَامْرَأَتَانِ مِمَّنْ تَرْضَوْنَ مِنَ الشُّهَدَاءِ أَنْ تَضِلَّ إِحْدَاهُمَا فَتُذَكِّرَ إِحْدَاهُمَا الْأُخْرَى. Am I in the right? This verse is very difficult to recite. If you ask any Hafiz, there would be real chances in the Hufaz who can easily study this, can recite this verse. فَاسْتَشْهِدُوا شَهِيدَانِ بِالرِّجَالِكُمْ. You are duty bound to provide 2 evidences from the men. If the 2 men are not available, one is missing, then you will have to replace him with 2 women. Means 2 women can be equalized with 1 man. But this claim is also wrong. For instance, there is no man and the women are collected in number 4. But that evidence is not acceptable. Even 400 cannot be a complete evidence. The scale of evidence cannot be provided by 400 as well. So this is sign of the weakness of the wisdom. And naqsatul deen, and your religion is also very weak. Why? For instance, you are imam in the mosque as a woman, and you are leading the prayer. And when the time of menses is there, what will you do? Who will replace you? It means that 1 dozen women would be employed for the imamat, for the leading the prayer. And when she is pregnant, she is not in position to walk and go to the mosque, who will lead the prayer? And menses system, according to Islamic studies, at least this period is for 3 days and maximally 10 days. So from 3 days to 10 days, who will be your replacement in the mosque? So are you fit for instance, you are going to a factory, you say permanently you will have to give me the leaves for 10 days every month. Will they accept you? No. So, I think my language is not too complicated for you to understand. You can easily understand. I am trying my best to facilitate my language. This is why sometimes I hesitate, because the shallow word cannot be found out by me. I'm an academic person, so academic language can easily spoken by me. So, in addition to that, one is in the child bed, in nafas. Means she has given the birth to a child, to a baby. And this period is at least from 1 hour up to 40 days. And it can go on up to 40 days. So who will lead the prayer 40 days in the mosque? If you are imam as a woman, so when you are in childbed, you will have to stay to wait for 40 days. Who will be your replacement in the mosque? It means that if a person employ you as an imam, so he will have to wait and wait. Other things can be postponed. There are holidays for many things, but there are no holidays for the prayer. It is regularly to be practiced. Understand? And as far as for the time being leadership in the prayer, the Islamic lawyers, the Islamic jurists are of the opinion a woman can lead the prayer of the woman, but not the men. Because the toe chain system requires the more powerful vehicle in the front. when the man is more powerful and the vehicle drawing the truck is small and is not in position to drag it, to draw it, to pull it, so how will the purpose would be served? So women ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa. Even the brush used by the men is not allowed to be used by the women because their gums are weaker than those of a man. So this is a kindliness of Islam, that Islam has treated the woman very politely, very smoothly. So instead of being thankful, they are making the complaints. Is totally wrong. The leadership in the prayer for the man is not level for the woman. Woman is not entitled. She is not eligible to lead the prayer of the men because they are superior to them. And in average, if you take the average of total humanity, the intelligence is found in the men more than those of the women. So comparatively, man is stronger and more intelligent, therefore he is more responsible. For instance, in Bukhari Sharif, Nabi Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam was told about the kingdom and legal system of Pasha. They told there is a woman who is ruling over the country. Nabi Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam said, La yuflihu qawmun wallo amrahum ila imratin. That community, that society will never succeed who has handed over their powers, their leadership to the woman. This is why, according to Islamic law, a woman cannot be chief of the state of an Islamic country. If there are certain precedents where the Muslims chosen a woman as a president of the country, so this is their personal character. This is their personal practice. But according to Islamic law, they were not legitimate to do like that. A woman is not entitled to be the chief of the state. If somebody did it, so this is his personal practice. It is not according to Islamic law. So Sayyida Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala led the prayer. Sayyida Salma led the prayer. But who was the follower? The woman. And it was legalized, but it is not good one. This permission is with the contempt. Means jawaz mal karahiyat. Means it's lawful, but it's makruh. Highly contemptible. Because this causes the disunity among the Muslims. Because when the woman goes to the mosque and they congregate with the human being, with the conditions which are observed for the veil observation, so the full comprehensive religion can be communicated to them. When their group is working separately, they will get an idea of their separation, their isolation. So it means that if you give them the right to lead the prayer by themselves, it means that you are trying to isolate them from the human society. So they will frame an independent idea which can be destructive for the Islamic solidarity, integrity, and solemnity. So this is my message of today. If you think this is enough, it's enough. Otherwise, try to make your time. I will give you another lecture. وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. सलाम पढ़िए. बिस्मिल्लाह. चलो सलाम पढ़ो. माशाअल्लाह. सुभान अल्लाह.